Abaye Ndialongwa Marawi. Brace yourselves, because this story right here is giving international drama, national flavor, and diplomatic fireworks all in one pot. The big headline? China yamva pempola APM ndipo yapanga zodabwitaizi. Hesh! When the former president Arthur Peter Mutharika speaks, China apparently listens, and not just with polite smiles, but with action that's shaking headlines from Lilongwe to Beijing. If you thought this was just another foreign meeting with handshakes and photo ops, think again. This one comes with debt deals, political timing, and a twist that even Netflix would envy. Let's dive in before the tea cools down. Let's start where all the noise began. APM, or as Malawians affectionately call him, Professor wa Diplomacy, made a major request to China, a PEMPO that was not just casual talk. During October 2025, he officially appealed to the Chinese government to assist Malawi with economic relief, infrastructure revival, and renewed investment partnerships. The man came out swinging, basically saying, China, remember your old friend. Malawi still needs you. Now, in true APM fashion, this was not a whisper, but a thunder call. He framed it around national recovery, reminding China of its long-standing friendship since the 2007 diplomatic switch from Taiwan to Beijing. He wanted visible projects, roads, energy plants, and trade openings that would reignite Malawi's growth. And you know APM, he delivers speeches like summons. In Chichewa, he said, Tikufuna bwenzi wo pindulitsa, osati mauoka. China ndio tandiza, koma tifunika zintu zikuchitika. Meaning, we want a friendship that delivers, not just promises. The move came at a time when Malawi's economy was limping, inflation biting harder than chili sauce, and public frustration rising. By calling on China, APM was hoping to spark hope and also rebrand himself as a deal maker in global politics. But listen carefully. When a big power like China hears your cry, the question isn't if they'll answer, but how. And that's where the real magic or mystery begins. And boom, China responded faster than gossip spreads on WhatsApp. Within weeks of APM's appeal, reports surfaced that Beijing had taken unprecedented steps. The shocker: China allegedly forgave part of Malawi's debt, roughly $20 million, a move that left many saying, China yapanga zodabwitaizi kweni kweni. It was like watching your strict landlord suddenly cancel your rent. Everyone clapped, but analysts quickly added, hold on. What's the catch? Because let's be honest, in international politics, nothing comes wrapped in pure generosity. The official Chinese embassy statement called it a gesture of renewed partnership, praising Malawi's development agenda. Behind the warm tone, though, insiders whispered about broader strategies. China, known for its soft power diplomacy, might be eyeing long-term influence, access to Malawi's strategic minerals, infrastructure contracts, and stronger visibility in Southern Africa. Meanwhile, APM didn't waste the PR moment. He smiled wide, said, Zikomo kwambiri China, and let social media do the rest. People started celebrating. Memes flooded Facebook. One even joked, APM should try asking China to fix our fuel queues next. Whether you see it as goodwill or geopolitics, one fact remains. China's reaction put Malawi back on the map. But remember, in the world of deals and diplomacy, timing is everything. So why did this happen now of all times? Let's flip the calendar and see what is really ticking behind the scenes. Timing. That invisible ingredient that turns an ordinary story into a political blockbuster. This whole drama didn't happen in a vacuum. In 2025, Malawi is facing economic turbulence, from currency depreciation to growing debt pressure. Meanwhile, China has been actively strengthening ties across Africa, using economic aid as its favorite chess move. So when APM raised his PEMPO, Beijing saw opportunity. It wasn't just about helping a friend, it was about strategic timing. With Western lenders tightening belts, China stepped in as the hero investor. But heroes, my friends, always expect applause and influence. Some political analysts in Lilongwe believe the move was China's subtle reminder that it remains Malawi's most dependable ally, especially as the country weighs options for development funding. Others say APM's timing was perfect. He needed an international win to rebuild his legacy, while China needed a feel-good African headline. A marriage of convenience, perhaps? Even the public felt the rhythm. One man in Blantyre was quoted saying, "Ngati China ikuchota ngongo, dipo APM akupambana, zonsezi ndi blessing." If China is forgiving debt, then APM is winning. It's a blessing. All right, we've decoded the timing, but no story about Chinese generosity ends without a twist. Let's dig into what's hidden between the fine print where favors turn into obligations. Every sweet deal hides the receipt. When China forgives debt or funds major projects, there's usually a long-term plan stitched in the fine print. Some experts call it the dragon's handshake. Warm on the outside, firm on the inside. So what might be the hidden chapter in this Malawi-China story? Insiders hint that in return for debt forgiveness, Chinese companies could gain easier access to contracts in construction, mining, or telecom sectors. That's not unusual. It's business wrapped in diplomacy. But it also means Malawi must tread carefully to avoid over-dependency. Critics say, debt forgiveness today, data centers tomorrow. Translation, accept one favor, open another door. Others argue it's a win-win if managed well, as long as Malawians benefit directly. In simple terms, China's generosity could be Malawi's ladder or trap, depending on how we climb it. If APM's deal leads to new roads, hospitals, and factories, fantastic. But if it only fattens foreign contractors while locals remain jobless, then it's just window dressing. Malawians are hopeful but cautious. They've seen grand promises vanish before. That's why people are asking for transparency, to know exactly what Malawi traded for this diplomatic favor. Now, we've looked at China's motives and Malawi's risks. But how does this ripple down to you, the ordinary citizen buying tomatoes at the market? Let's talk impact, real talk. Here's the part that really matters. What does all this mean for Bambo Ndimaya Kumudi, the ordinary Malawian hustling daily? Debt relief sounds great on paper, but its benefits depend on how government handles the freed-up funds. If the money saved from debt payments goes into roads, schools, energy, and job creation, that's real progress. But if it disappears into endless consultation meetings and foreign trips, then we'll just be watching another season of the same show. Many citizens see this as a potential turning point. One Blantyre vendor said, "Ngati APM wapangisa China kutihandiza, ndiye chiembekezo chilie ponso." If APM has made China help us, then hope is alive again. But others warn that the youth need to stay alert, not just to celebrate, but to demand transparency. China's investment should uplift local workers, not replace them. So the impact depends on leadership choices. If managed well, this could mark a new chapter of genuine growth. If mishandled, it will just be another fancy headline forgotten by December. And that, my friends, is the full puzzle, from request to reward, from handshake to headlines. So what's the takeaway for us all? Let's wrap it up like pros. Eish, Malawi diplomacy is like Gulewa Mukulu. Beautiful to watch, but full of mystery behind the mask. APM asked, China answered, and now it's up to Malawi to make the most of it. The big question is, will this partnership build a nation or build another political story? Only time and accountability will tell. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, subscribe to @Global Pulse News, and hit that notification bell for more fearless, fast-paced Malawi stories. And don't forget to support our sister channels at Sparkling Kids and at Raima Fatima, because learning starts early and truth never sleeps. Tionana next time.